Hi, Erickson Library. It is Rhonda with another edition of What You Read Wednesday. And this week I'm actually going over Reese Witherspoon YA book club picks because she started doing YA picks last fall. And they've been super popular and such great reading material. So we have quite a few of them here at Erickson Library, so I wanted to share that with you. And as well, I don't know if you follow the Reese Witherspoon Book Club, but they actually just launched an app. So it's a great way to get on there, interact with other people who are reading the same books, and they do some cooking shows based around the books, and all kinds of like fun content. They do talks with some of the authors. So yeah, I would definitely check that out and install that from your app store if you're able to. I'm really enjoying using it, so I want to share that with you. So this was one of the first ones that she had as a pick, and it's called Fable by Adrienne Young. And this actually recently had a sequel come out for it called Namesake, which we also have at the library. It is currently checked out, but we would be more than happy to put you on the hold list for it. I read this shortly after it came out and absolutely loved it and didn't realize there would be a sequel. So when I got to the end, I was like, I need more. I need to know what happens. So now you can. You can read this and then very quickly read the second one so you can find out. And the author, Adrienne Young, just recently announced that there is going to be another book in this series as well. So there will be a third one coming out soon. So I will let you know what Fable is about. Welcome to a world dangerous by the sea and by those who wish to profit from it, where a young girl must find her place and her family while trying to survive in a world built for men. For 17-year-old Fable, the daughter of the most powerful trader in the Narrows, the sea is the only home she has ever known. It's been 4 years since the night she watched her mother drown during an unforgiving storm. The next day, her father abandoned her on a legendary island filled with thieves and little food. To survive, she must keep to herself, learn to trust no one, and rely on the unique skills her mother taught her. The only thing that keeps her going is the goal of getting off the island, finding her father, and demanding her rightful place beside him and his crew. To do so, Fable enlists the help of a young trader named West to get her off the island and across the Narrows to her father. But her father's rivalries and the dangers of the trading enterprise have only multiplied since she last saw him, and Fable soon finds out that West isn't who he seems. Together, they will have to survive more than the treacherous storms that haunt the Narrows if they're going to stay alive. Fable by Adrienne Young. Next, we have one that I also got pretty soon after it came out and adored it. I love tea. I will admit that. I'm originally from Canada, so, part of the Commonwealth, we enjoy our afternoon tea. And this is called A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow. It's also been my dream to go to England one day, and this book takes place in England. So it was a great way to kind of travel there while staying here and just immersing myself in that world. So I absolutely love this book. It is by Laura Taylor Namey. For Lila Reese, a summer in England was never part of the plan. The plan was 1. To take over her Abdullah's role as head baker at their panderia. 2. Move in with her best friend after graduation. And 3. Live happily ever after with her boyfriend. But then the trifecta happened, and everything, including Lila herself, fell apart. Worried about Lila's mental health, her parents make a new plan for her. Spend 3 months with family friends in Winchester, England, to relax and reset. But with the lack of sun, a grumpy inn cook, and a small town lacking Miami flavor, both in food and otherwise, what would be a dream trip for some feels like a nightmare to Lila, until she meets Orion Maxwell. A tea shop clerk with troubles of his own, Orion is determined to help Lila out of her funk and appoints himself as her personal tour guide. From Winchester, England's drama-filled music scene to a sweeping English countryside, it isn't long before Lila is charmed, not only by Orion, but also by England itself. Soon a new future begins to form in Lila's mind, one that would mean leaving everything she ever planned behind. A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow. And this one was one of the more recent picks. It's called The Light in Hidden Places by Sharon Cameron. It's a novel based on a true story of remarkable heroism during World War II. I have not read this one yet, but it is on my list. I'm definitely anxious to read it. One knock at the door, and Stefana has a choice to make. It is 1943, and for 4 years, 16-year-old Stefana has been working for the Diamant family in their grocery store in Poland, singing her way into their lives and hearts. She has even made a promise to one of their sons, Izo, a betrothal they must keep secret since Stefana is Catholic and the Diamants are Jewish. But everything changes when the German army invades. The Diamants are forced into the ghetto, and Stefana is alone in an occupied city, the only person left to care for Helena, her 6-year-old sister. And then comes the knock at the door. Iozo's brother Max has jumped from a train headed into a concentration camp. Stefana and Helena make the extraordinary decision to hide Max, and eventually 12 more Jews. Then they must wait every day for the next knock at the door, the one that will mean death. The light in hidden places. So very reminiscent of, Anne Frank and just the story of what was happening at that time in our history. So a great read. And this is the most recent pick. It's called The Firekeeper's Daughter. Love the cover. Really, really neat. A rare and mesmerizing work that blends the power of a vibrant tradition with the aches and energy of today's America. 18-year-old Danius Fontaine has never quite fit in, both in her hometown and on the nearby Ojibwe reservation. She dreams of a fresh start at college, but when family tragedy strikes, Danius puts her future on hold to look after her frail mother. The only bright spot is meeting Jamie, the charming new recruit on her brother's Levi's hockey team. Yet even as Danius falls for Jamie, she senses the dashing hockey star is hiding something. Everything comes to light when Danius witnesses a shocking murder, thrusting her into an FBI investigation of a lethal new drug. Reluctantly, Danius agrees to go undercover, drawing on her knowledge of chemistry and Ojibwe traditional medicine to track down the source. But the search for truth is more complicated than Danius imagined, exposing secrets and old scars. At the same time, she grows concerned with an investigation that seems more focused on punishing the offenders than protecting the victims. Firekeeper's Daughter, and that is by Angeline Booley. So I hope you enjoy some of those Reese Witherspoon young adult book club picks. They are all available right now at Erickson Library to come check out. And next week on Thursday, which will be April 29th, we are doing our poetry night. April is National Poetry Month, so I hope that you can join us. If you want to just come and listen to some poetry, if you'd like to come share poetry, I would love that. Share your favorite poem, maybe one you've written yourself. I will be sharing some of my poetry that I've written. It's been a long time. But I used to write a lot of poetry when I was in high school and when I was a little bit younger, and kind of missing some of that. So revisiting some of those poems kind of puts me in the frame of mind to be creative again that way. So I hope you join me. Come share your poems, come listen to some poetry, and just celebrate all that poetry is on National Poetry Month. April 29th on Zoom, 7 p.m. Message me or call the library if you'd like the Zoom link. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next week for another What You Readin' Wednesday. Have a great week.